You throw a ball straight up in the air and catch it at the same height you released it. The graph shows the path of the ball. Answer the following questions. After how long does the ball reach its maximum height? So that would be here, right? Yep, 1 second. What is the maximum height?
20 feet.
Yep, so this is going by 4s, so that's going to be 20 feet. At what height do you throw and catch the ball from? So that's me here and here.
4 meters.
Yep, 4 feet.
Is calculate cute?
And then what is the total time that the ball is in the air?
2 seconds.
Yep, 2 seconds. Any questions on that?
Very cute. Yes. Sorry.
Okay.
Wait, how did you get 20 feet? Can you tell me that?
Because this is going by 4s, so then right here would be 20.
I up 17.
Guys, can we focus?
Yes.
Locked in, please. Okay, so we're doing more graphing, but this time it's standard form graphing, so your objective is students will be able to graph quadratic functions of the form y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So Friday, that graphing that we did, we didn't have a b in the middle. It was just either ax squared, where the vertex was at the origin, or there was a plus or minus c after, where it moved it up and down. But all of the graphs on Friday without the bx were on the y-axis somewhere. Now that we add the bx in, now your graph is going to shift all over the place. Okay. So characteristics that you need to know are here. It's kind of small. First, axis of symmetry is going to be this vertical line that's going right through the center of your graph. That kind of is where you would fold it to make it symmetrical. And then the vertex is also on that line right in the center. To find these two, you use the same formula. It's x equals negative b over 2a.
Well, we have to know these formulas on the test.
I don't think so. I think we have to. And then, so for the axis of symmetry, that's not just a value, it's the equation of a line. It's like a y equals mx plus b, but for a vertical line, which is just x equals a number. So for axis of symmetry, you must put x equals. So you have to say x equals whatever, because it's supposed to be the equation of a line, not just a number. Okay? So for the vertex, see how it's a point and it says negative b over 2a comma f parentheses negative b over 2a. What that means when you see f parentheses and then something, that's just telling you whatever you get for that answer, just to plug it into your equation and see what you get after you plug it in for the y. And that's what you would get for the answer. Okay? It just means, basically that just means plug it in. Okay? So the x of the vertex and then this are going to be the same number. Your y-intercept, this is kind of helpful, is at 0, c. So whatever this c value is always your y-intercept. And your x-intercepts when y equals 0, these are the things that we found the whole first half of the unit. So find using square roots, factoring, completing the square, or a quadratic formula. So the whole first half of this unit, what the quiz was on, was basically teaching you how to find the x-intercepts of your graph. Okay? Bless you. But the bulk of this is going to be centered on finding the vertex and the axis of symmetry. Okay? All right, so the first one, find the vertex and axis of symmetry of y equals 2x squared minus 4x plus 5. So we're going to use that formula. X equals negative b over 2a. All right, so for this one, what is b? Negative 4. And then what's a?
Why is it parentheses?
just for when you plug stuff in, you always put parentheses around it. No, it's A. 2. So what's a negative negative?
Positive.
Yeah, so positive 4 over positive 4, which is what? 1. Yep. So your axis of symmetry is the equation x equals 1. You can do like A of S if you want. And then your vertex is going to be 1 comma something, so the same x value. And to figure out what the y value is, you're going to go back to your original function right here and just plug in the x. So you're going to do y equals 2 times 1 squared minus 4 times 1 plus 5. And you can put that whole thing into your calculator as is. So maybe grab a calculator and practice putting that in to make sure you can do it. Make sure you're using a subtraction sign right here, not a negative.
Is it possible for something to do?
What?
Is it possible
To do it?
in the PE workout? Remember we did?
No, it's not.
You remember like really sweaty? Oh, okay. It's in the wrestling room. In your wrestling room smells like a pee.
Okay, take off all your shoes too.
No.
It's lovely.
In the wrestling room? Oh my god.
So you should get
Your dogs are gonna be barking.
3, guys.
Oh, yeah.
So everyone make sure they get 3 by plugging that in.
Wait, what's
Oh, shoot.
Wait, how did you get 1 in the vertex? Like y equals?
This formula. It's the same formula, like the same value.
What's the formula?
Negative b over 2a.
I got 3. I got 1.
Wait, for vertex too?
And yeah. Yep, so this x equals that is always going to be the same.
How'd you find 3?
Plugging the 1 into the equation.
Oh, I didn't
Oh, I see. Oh, so you just plug in the 1.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's not what I got.
Are you making sure to use a subtraction sign in front of the 4, not a negative?
Wait, how long is that?
If you got 3 and you're good, you can move on to this one.
Right. Are you to like 2 laps?
I like it. Is it a makeup day?
No. You should be asking.
Guys,
I'm absent for one day because I'm going to break down. Okay. I can hear why. Yes.
Should I put a negative out in the front for the 8 even though it's not negative? Or should I just put negative 8?
it would just end up being negative 8. Are we ready on this one? Okay. So you do x equals negative b over 2a. X equals negative, what's b?
8.
8. Over 2, what's a?
1.
So that's going to be negative 8 over 2, which is negative 4.
Axis of symmetry is 9 or 4.
X equals 4, yeah. You have to put the x equals.
Okay.
X
Negative 4?
equals negative 4, yeah.
confused what to do from there.
So the vertex is going to have the same x value. And to get the y value, you're going to take the equation they gave you and plug it in for x.
So x is -4.
Mm-hmm. Like that.
Is it always going to give you the equation?
Yeah. Because that's how you got your B and your A for this part.
Okay.
I think you get -13. Everyone try to plug this in, guys.
Alright, I did it.
I got it. -13.
I got it.
-13?
I got -13. You're so goofy.
Okay. Are we good on these?
And this oh no, there's graphs.
Good? Okay. All right. Next, we're going to use this to graph. So, we're kind of, when we're graphing in this form, we're kind of playing off of the idea that, like, we know that our graph is the same on both sides, right? It has symmetry. So we only really need to plot points on one half of our graph, and we can just copy it over, okay? So when we're graphing this, first we're going to find our axis of symmetry and vertex x, because that's what we have to base everything off of. All right, so what is B?
6.
-6, and then what's A?
1.
So that's going to be a +6/2, which is 3. So that means that your vertex is going to be at 3 something, and the center of your graph is going to be at x = 3. I like to draw like a dashed line so I know where the center is. So this is your axis of symmetry.
What day is our test next week?
Monday.
Oh.
Okay, so we're gonna just get points for half the graph, like one half or the other. Otherwise, this would be the center of our, and we'd have 3 more values that we'd have to plug in. Which why do that if we don't have to? So you can either count up or count down. So we're at 3. You can either go 2, 1, 0, or you can go 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna do 2, 1, 0. Anytime that you can include 0, the better, because that one's the y-intercept. It's easy to find. So for 0, anytime you have a 0, remember your y-intercept is always 0, c. So what's c here? 4. So you know that's a free point.
Like, so it's always 4.
It's 0, c, whatever the c value is. And then you're basically going to, in your calculator, plug each of these x's in to get the y values. So you would do like 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 4. And then same thing for 2 and 1. And you get -5 for this one. -4. -1. Can you guys check that for me? Are you guys checking that? Make sure that's right. Because I did that in my head. Good? Okay, so then plot those. So 3, -5 is going to be your center. And then 2, -4, which also means it's 4, -4. 1, -1, and then also 5, -1.
So you always do the opposite?
Yeah, so you always like mirror it over to the other side.
Wait, how come 2 -4 is the opposite of 4 -4?
It's because your center's at 3. So like when I plot 2, -4, I've just mirrored over that line.
Oh,
And then
because
you
like
just
the
draw
center,
line.
in the center is 3.
Yeah, the center's at 3, yeah.
So then,
So it just like basically like hops over that line to make it symmetrical.
so then
So here I could have used 3, 2, 1, 0, or I could have used 3, 4, 5, 6. Like you can count up or down because either the left side or the right side you graph. And then just copy it. So once you have like the left side, then you could just mirror it over to the right side.
Wait, how come there's one at the top though?
That's my 0, 4. Or if I counted up 6, 4. But this is like the center of your graph always. Your vertex is always the center of your graph. Does that kind of make sense? Okay, go ahead and try the next one. Yeah.
Do you always do 3, 2, 1, 0?
No, you always, whatever, you have to find the vertex like this first with this formula,
Yeah.
and you base those numbers around that. Like once you know what that is. So then 2, then either go 3, 4, 5, or go 2, 1, 0, -1. Like either count up or count down from 2. Yep.
For 0,
Mm-hmm.
will it always be a 4?
No, it's whatever C is.
Oh.
You get 2, 2.
Yeah.
Are we done? Need more time? Okay.
I got 10. What am I doing? Sitting down.
Wait, how did you get
Why am I getting like 18, 19, and 30? I think I'm doing this wrong. So,
What
what the heck is this all the way up here?
Okay, let's see.
And then I got negative 5. It's inappropriate.
Okay, should I go? right, so for this one, when you do x equals negative b over 2a, focus, what is b? 4. And what's a?
1.
What kind of one?
Negative 1.
Negative 1, yep. So that's going to be negative 4 over negative 2, which is a positive 2. So your center is going to be at x equals 2. And your vertex is going to be starting at 2. So you can either count up and go 2, 3, 4, 5, or you can go 2, 1, 0, negative 1. That's what I'm going to do. Anytime you can include 0, the better, because it's the easiest point to
Will I
get.
the same answer?
Yeah. So what would be my y-intercept here?
2.
Almost.
Well, negative 2.
Negative 2, yep. It's C.
Oh, I didn't do this one. Huh?
And then when you plug in 2, so you have negative 2 squared plus 4 times 2 minus 2. What do you get for that?
I got 10, -7, and -5.
No. Make sure you're putting the, guys, when you're putting this in the calculator, make sure the negative is going outside the parentheses.
Oh, I didn't do this.
Did I get-
You should get 2, 1.
Negative 2 and 7.
Wait, make sure that
I-
I wasn't even.
I think negative 7.
Yeah,
Wait.
negative
Negative 7?
Wait, so can you repeat that?
What do you
Can you go over this whole problem again?
So guys, you plug it in just like that.
Okay, wait.
So plug it in again. Try. The negative has to go outside.
What's the formula for it again?
It's whatever the equation they give you is.
Isn't it negative b
What?
over 2a?
That's to find the x. Once you have the x and these values, you're just plugging them in for x in the equation.
If I choose this for A,
I was almost there.
so I choose this for exam.
Whatever those values are, you should say.
Well, I did the.
Yeah, they'll say that. hmm
Okay.
And then you would also plug in negative 1. Okay, so then your vertex is at 2, 2 right here. And then you'd have 1, 1. And then 0, negative 2. And then negative 1, negative 7. So it would look like that. So remember what we talked about on Friday also, that if your A value is negative, your graph is always going to be upside down. Okay?
When's our test next week?
Monday.
Oh no.
Okay, do you have any questions on this?
This is gonna be fucking
Any questions, guys? We're good?
I think so.
Can we not like read to like your cash?
I'm just kidding.
All right. Next one. These are really common questions on like every standardized test. During halftime of a basketball game, a slingshot launches t-shirts at the crowd. A t-shirt is launched with an initial velocity of 72 feet per second from a height of 5 feet above the ground. This is modeled by h equals negative 16 t squared plus 72 t plus 5. After how long until the t-shirt reaches its maximum height? What is the maximum height? So anytime you see the words maximum, minimum, you know you're finding the vertex, okay? A quick little note, because there is a problem on your Math Excel, I think, that does not give you the actual equation. It expects you to know how to write the equation, which we don't really go over because usually they give it to you. It's really easy to do it. So I'm just going to show you guys where to plug the stuff in so that you can do it on the Math Excel. So your equation is always going to be in the form like h equals, the negative 16 is always going to be negative 16. It's there because of gravity, okay? And then the b and the c are what you need to figure out. The b is always going to be whatever the initial velocity is. So see how the 72 is plugged in right there?
Are these problems on our test?
I don't know, maybe. And then right here, you're always going to put in like the starting height. So in this problem, it was 5 feet above the ground, so they plugged 5 in there. Okay, so just how you know where to put the numbers. In the negative 16, that number is there because of the force of gravity. That's going to stay negative 16 every time. Okay? So just in Math Excel, you know where to put the two numbers they give you in to make the equation that you're going to need. All right. So we're trying to figure out like a t-shirt's being launched, right? And then someone's catching it. We're trying to figure out this right here, which is the vertex. So we're going to use, in this case, t is the input value. So t equals negative b over 2a. What's the b? 72. And what's the a? Negative 16, yep. That's going to be negative 72 divided by negative 32. And then put that in your calculator. And what do we get? 2.25, yeah? Okay, and then plug that into your equation. H equals negative 16 times 2.25 squared plus 72 times 2.25 plus 5, and figure out what that equals.
Is it 86?
Yep, 86. Okay, so what this means is the t-shirt reaches its maximum height of 86 feet after 2.25 seconds. Okay, good there. Can you do the last one? Are we ready to go over this or not yet? Yeah? Okay, cool. So for this one, similar. So you have x equals negative b over 2a. What is b? Guys? 48. What's a? Negative 16. Yep. So you're going to be doing negative 48 divided by negative 32. Guys, so what's that going to be?
That's gonna be 1.5.
1.5. Yep. And then you'd plug 1.5 in. So y equals negative 16 times 1.5 squared plus 48 times 1.5 plus 8. And what do you guys get for that? 44, yeah.
Not even close.
So the t-shirt reaches its maximum.
I did that
Prove
one.
it.
Huh?
I did that one right.
Good.
I did that one
44 feet after 1.5 seconds.
Okay.
Shut your mouth, Rico.
Okay, guys, get the lesson check done, please. Guys,
That's right. Austin's literally so rude.
like, you guys are all being bad. Like, not good. Like, you guys need to check yourselves. All right. Lesson check. Yes.
Rico.
Yes.
Come on, people. Lesson check. And Math Excel.
I should probably do this one. I'm gonna read
Which I think I did it right here.
He said she's not in the top of the rest.
Is teacher appreciation week. Miss Sunny, did you get my letter? I gave you, I wrote you in English, and I drew Alex in the letter, Olivia, and me, and her.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Ew.
You drew a picture of this guy.
Yeah. We all know the same.
What are they talking about? They're talking about Victoria. Oh, they're talking about Victoria Richard. Don't say that. That's mean.
One of my astronauts were Austin.
Stop looking at me like
Like side door. You're sitting on
When
the
you're
side
done
door.
doing your shift, no, I'll show you how to do it.
Wait, Erica, what'd you get? You can do it.
It'll probably be easier on your phone.
I really don't want to work this Friday. Can I?
Well, I'll have to put up the schedule.
It's on it.
Yeah, they're gonna get mad then. You have to do it before they send the schedule.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh my
You're so rude today. What is wrong with you?
Why don't you go eat one cookie?
She's wearing a shirt.
Allison, you're gonna let me talk to him like that after we
Wait,
make
what do you say?
Guys, are we done with this lesson check?
Yes.
We are?
Yes. Miss Etchy.
Good job. Okay. For this one, your vertex, you should have at 2, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh shoot. What do you mean? They're off task.
Is that right?
Oh shoot, I did this so
Is that right?
Miss Etchy, I did that right.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen. We're gonna stop.
I'm packed on.
Rio, what's your
Okay, so your graph should look like this.
Yeah, I did that right.
Okay, and then your vertex on here should be -2.
What?
5?
Make me cry.
-5?
Yeah, 5. That's what I got too. Yeah, I got 5.
Hold on. 4, -8. Plus 16 is 8, minus 3 is 5, yeah.
Yay.
Cool.
I want Friday off.